This morning on Breaking Views, candidates for the Bank of England's top job battle it out next week at the Select Committee, and why George Osborne needs a credibility reboot. Joining me is Chris Hughes. This job interview first for Adair Turner and Paul Tucker. Now, of course, Paul Tucker, it seemed, was in a little bit of trouble. I don't want to push this too far, and he seemed to, and he was the bookies' favourite to get this job. Will he still get it?
Well, he was momentarily in a bit of trouble.
Is he out of that trouble now?
The pressure actually lifted a bit after Bob Diamond's evidence to the Select Committee of MPs last week, which actually wasn't too bad for Tucker. It actually took pressure off him. But what you've got now going into
that, by the way, is Adair Turner, not Paul Tucker.
Yeah, going into next week is we have more of these MP grillings on the LIBOR scandal, and as you said, they are summoning Paul Tucker, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of England, who, as you say, is front runner to succeed Mervyn King in the top job, and also Adair Turner, FSA boss, also seen as a very strong candidate to take over at the Bank of England too. Now, look, ostensibly, the hearings next week are about the nitty-gritty of attempted LIBOR fixing, but in reality, how these two perform could be critical to whether they get the top job. Now, going into it, I mean, Paul Tucker, as you say, he's on the back foot a bit because there's still questions about what exactly he meant and said when he had this telephone call with Bob Diamond in October 2008, where we have this transcript written. Well, we have this note written by Bob Diamond, which still carries the potential interpretation that the Bank of England, that Paul Tucker sanctioned LIBOR rigging, perhaps with a nod from government. I mean, that's not really been cleared up. The MPs didn't really sort of grill Bob Diamond too much.
Is Paul Tucker better qualified for this job than Adair Turner?
I don't think it's for me to make a sort of snap judgment about that.
Well, Paul Tucker's been at the bank, right?
Well,
for a long time.
Paul Tucker, he's a sort of internal, you might say, sort of safe pair of hands, if you like. Adair Turner's been much more robust publicly about the troubles of the financial sector. But in a way, the qualification, if you're asking who's better qualified, well, we'll sort of find out a bit next week, because it's going to be a very important part of the role, how they handle their communications with elected public officials. So, that question, are they qualified? I think we'll see. We'll find out.
Elected public officials who may not be qualified in quizzing.
The questions are always a little bit. Sometimes it can be rather bovine, but let's just see. The qualification. We'll see next week if Paul Tucker does a really great job, and he's got something to lose here. If he does a really great job, then rightly you'll say, look, he handled that well. That is relevant to running the Bank of England.
All right. Let's talk about George Osborne quickly. He has annoyed some people. He's been quite combative in his approach in dealing with this whole LIBOR fixing scandal. Now, you say, or Robert Cole says, he's in danger of breaching the code or the rules of statesmanship.
Well,
why? I don't get that. Who sets that code?
Look, there's nothing wrong with annoying people, and there's nothing wrong with being combative. I mean, that's not really what we're complaining about here.
Right.
It's
I don't think I quite see what you're complaining about.
He's basically used this LIBOR scandal in a very sort of petty political way, and also he's been pretty slipshod. For example, he in the Commons dragged HSBC into this in a very crude way, which effectively suggested that they were under some sort of full-blown mega investigation, which doesn't actually appear to be the case. That was just plain sloppy, and his
so sloppiness is what we should be accusing him of.
Casual. He hasn't handled this with the sort of statesman-like, semi-distanced approach that you would expect from the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He's gone at it from a very, as the sort of finance minister within the Conservative Party. He hasn't really handled it in a sort of calm, reasoned way that you'd expect from the finance minister of the country, and it's disappointing.
All right. We will see how this pans out. Chris, many thanks for that. Our US shows at 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 BST. I'm Axel Throttle. This is Reuters.